Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. club. And I come to you from my front yard. It's been sprinkling all afternoon. I got rained off work early today and left at 10 o'clock. So I've spent the whole day at home just chilling out. So I thought I'd just pump out one more Jim's 5 a.m. club. And it's a book summary that I've taken from a book that I read early this morning. So I gave a 5 a.m. club this morning, and the book was entitled You Are the Placebo. You Are the Placebo, and the author is a wonderful author, wonderful writer, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he has some really special material that's really resonated with me over the past couple of days. I did another one of his books a couple of weeks ago, and it was some pretty powerful stuff. So I thought I'd share it with you today and extend today's book summary and just talk about something else something else that he talked about. I've got these plastics covering my teeth, so it makes speaking a little bit awkward sometimes. But Invisalign, I'm almost at the end of my Invisalign program, and I'm straightening my upper and lower teeth. I should have done it many years ago, but didn't thought it was a priority. It was expensive. We had other things to spend our money on, especially bringing up children, paying for weddings and all of that sort of stuff, plus going on holidays. But I've got to the point now where my dentist actually said to me that you need to straighten your teeth, otherwise you're going to have problems in your senior years. That's if I get there, but you've got to live with positive expectancy and just hope for the best. Anyway, let's kick on with this book summary, because as I said, it's really powerful, really important, and resonates really deeply with me. So it's a topic which is near and dear to my heart. And the author makes a very bold statement, something that I haven't really considered before, nor thought about, but an important statement. And he said one powerful thing, that to change beliefs, you're listening up here? To change beliefs, you need to access our subconscious mind. I never thought about that. I thought all the stuff to do with beliefs and habits was happening at the conscious level, but a lot of it is embedded, is happening below the surface, and is happening in your subconscious mind. So the author said that we need to access our subconscious mind. And you say to yourself, well, how do you access your subconscious mind? And it's really interesting how you do it, because the author talks about the different states of consciousness and the different brain waves that influence how we access different parts of our brain and the impact that it has on us. So he's basically saying that in order to access the subconscious, you need to work out your brainwave state and understand how the brainwaves interact and work, so that you can access and make connection with your subconscious. So, in order to access your subconscious, you need to go to a lower brainwave state, is the bottom line. And he indicates that there are 3 levels, or 3 key levels. I'm sure there's more levels, there are sub-levels and other levels that neurologists would understand a lot better than me. But the 3 key brainwave states that we have is the beta state, the alpha state, and the theta state. So let's just expand on those 3 states and understand it a little bit better. So there are three states of brainwave activity, and the beta state, it's a little bit counterintuitive, but hang in with me and we'll get to understand it better. The beta state is your natural brain state. It's the state where it's the higher bandwidth state. It's the higher frequency state. And it's where our analytical mind is running all the time. And it's overrun, and runs wild with thoughts, worries, planning, and disbelief. So your natural brainwave state is the beta state. All right, let's understand that. So we've got the beta state is the natural. It's the baseline. It's how we operate just normally. So our normal state is the higher brainwave state known as the beta state. And it's the state that we use to think, to plan, to discuss, to challenge, to do all of those sorts of things. So it's a higher frequency bandwidth state. And then you go to a thing called the alpha state, which is the next level, which is a slower state. So the bandwidth is slower, I guess is the best way of describing it. So you've got the beta, which is faster, and then you've got a slower state, which is called the alpha state. And that's when you slow down and get through and eliminate all the alpha brain distractions. So it's when you're more relaxed and more and less stress, less high frequency, less I guess stressed is the best way to say it. And when you're in your alpha state, you can connect with your subconscious mind. So let's go back again and reevaluate once again. So the beta state is your working or thinking mind. And it's where you analyze, think, plan, and categorize things. So it's constantly working at taking information and dealing with it, all the detailed sort of stuff. So the detailed sort of stuff is your beta state. Your alpha state is where your brain operates at a lower or a slower frequency, where you're more grounded, relaxed, and mindful. So we get into that alpha state, and you know when you're in an alpha state because you're chilled. But the most powerful state of all, and the one that we need to be able to access, understand, and tap into on a regular basis wherever we can, is called the Theta state. And it's the state where it's the meditative state, when you're in meditation, or when you're in deep prayer, or when you're zoned out, I guess, to a certain extent. And it's your visual mind. It's where your visualization is able to take over, and you're able to see things in your mind's eye. And it's a deeper state of awareness. It's hard to describe, but you know when you're in that state, because it's where you tap into your gut feel, your intuition. It's a state of being where you're in control, or you're in contact. You're connected with your wholeness, your whole being is how it's described. It's a holistic way of tapping into your being. And it's the brainwave. It's the brainwave that is used to allow you to deal with complex problem solving. In another book summary that I did the other day, I remember reading, and it made a lot of sense, and it was very, very powerful, that if you've got simple problems to solve, then by all means use your conscious mind to deal with them, to rationalise them, to step through them in as much detail as possible. But they're simple problems. But this author here talks about it, and he says that when you're dealing with complex problems, which are multifaceted and cover many, many aspects and have many, many connecting bits and first level, second level and third level consequences, which are very, very analytical and very, very complex to even consider. He says that your conscious mind just can't deal with that. Now, don't fool yourself. There are some things, or there are many things actually, which are really, really complex. And your complex mind can only focus on one or two things at a time, ideally one thing at a time. But in order to deal and solve a complex problem, you need to be able to deal with multiple things at the same time. You need to be able to multitask. And even though a lot of people think that they are great multitaskers, the reality is, and the fact is, you can't multitask. You need to focus on one thing at a time and solve one thing at a time, regardless of whether or not you think you can do it. When it comes to really complex problems, really challenging things, your conscious is not capable of being able to solve it. And a lot of scientists, a lot of authors that I've read say that if you've got a complex problem, don't bother trying to solve it from a conscious perspective. You need to be able to access your subconscious to be attuned to your intuition, to your gut feel, because your subconscious has an amazing processing capability. It is a supercomputer that takes everything in, processes it, works it out, has all the answers to all the problems that you have ever thought about. But they're sitting at your subconscious level, and you can't access it from your conscious level, but you need to be able to read it, to understand it, to feel it. It's a feeling sort of thing, and you will know if you're on the right path or not. And it's the sort of thing that pops up in your dreams, and it's tapping into your intuition. I'm struggling to be able to explain it the best possible way I can, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. So you need to get into your theta state to be able to be for your mind to be most open to new beliefs, to new thoughts, and you access it through silence. Silence, meditation, prayer, where you're able to think really, really deeply and access that supercomputer known as your subconscious, and you're able to indulge in reflection. At the next level, I can say that in my spiritual journey as a Greek Orthodox Christian, I have gone through and done some serious fasting during Easter, and done the fast that they do in monasteries. It's called the monks' fast. And at the beginning of Easter, the first week, Theta, Clean Monday, when Sarakostir, or when Lent commences, what the Greek Orthodox do, or the ones who are practicing Greek Orthodox, and especially the ones in the monasteries, they will go for the first 3 days with eating nothing at all, just drinking water. And on the evening of the third day, you will have just one very, very small meal, xerophagia, which is just dried nuts, a few fruits, and that's basically it. So you have a very, very small meal on the third evening, and then you go for 2 more days with just water. And it is an amazing journey. It is an amazing journey of discovery. As I said, I've done it many, many times over the past 10 years. And while it sounds extreme, it does allow you to tap into your strengths. It allows you to learn a little bit more about what you're capable of doing and what you're not capable of doing. But most importantly of all, what I have found is it allows you to get into a different state. It's hard to describe. And from my perspective, and we're all different, but the first day of this fast is very, very difficult. And you say to yourself, there's no way in the world I can do this. I can't continue. But the second day, it becomes a little easier, because what happens is you're in ketosis, or you start commencing ketosis, so that all the sugars, all the glycogen in your muscles is used up as the first port of call for energy sources. And once your glycogen within your muscles is depleted, then your body starts turning to ketosis and starts using your fat stores, which feed your brain. And so the second day is a little bit easier than the first day. It's not easy, but it's a little bit easier. But the third day, believe it or not, after just drinking water, the third day, your body is in full ketosis, and your brain is feasting on ketones. And while you feel lethargic, while you feel exhausted to a certain extent, your brain is operating at a very, very different level. Your mind, your brain, you can sense it. You just feel sharp and able to just take in things. Even though physically your body seems tired and lethargic, you just feel a different level of alertness. And you've got to experience it to understand what I'm talking about. And while I'm not a neurologist, I'm not a scientist, and I don't understand this stuff all that well, my experience suggests that you enter a theta state of awareness, where whatever you read, whatever you listen to, whatever you think about, you're able to access it at a different level of clarity. Your thinking becomes much, much deeper, and you're able to tap into sources, resources that you never thought were quite possible. And of course, come the 4th and 5th day, you're flying. You feel as if you can just live on water alone, and you don't need food. And you're able to connect at a different level. Anyway, I'll leave that with you. But having read this book, That You Are the Placebo, by Dr. Joe Dispenza, a great author, a doctor. I love his style, and I love the material he talks about. I'm able to take this material and overlay it on my Christian background, on my Greek Orthodox beliefs. And then, of course, after that first week of severe fasting, then we go into just strict fasting for the next 40 days. And then we go into, it actually goes for more than 40 days. So the Greek Orthodox fast goes for 40 days. So the first week is, for me, is just water and just one meal on the third day of nuts and dried fruit, and then one meal again on the fifth evening of just nuts, dried fruit, maybe a couple of pieces of fruit. And then I go into the normal Easter fast, which is quite difficult. It's a vegan fast, but on Wednesdays and Fridays, there is no oil, there is no, and it's very limited sort of intake of just xerofagia on Wednesdays and Fridays. And the other days during the week is no oil during the week, and on the weekends you can have a little bit of olive oil and some wine. But all of your meals for the 40 days leading up to Holy Week and all of Holy Week are very moderate. So you're eating much less than what you normally eat. So you're feeling a level of lethargy, physical lethargy, because you're fatigued physically, but in terms of your mental capacity during that 40 days plus 7, 42 plus 7 makes it up to 49 days. For those 49 days, whatever you read from a spiritual perspective, the church services you go to, you're able to experience it at a different level. And I can imagine being a monk on a holy mountain where you're fasting all the time, you're praying all the time, and you're leading a very pure and a whole life, that you'd be able to be in this Theta state for much longer than what people outside of those sorts of environments would be able to experience. Because in the monasteries, they do practice a silence, ησυχία, which is silence, and that silence is an important aspect of this Theta brainwave state. So you could understand that they're operating in many ways at their subconscious level, being able to access and connect with their subconscious mind, and able to do things that us mere mortals who are distracted at the alpha and beta mind rates or mind states will not be able to access on a regular basis. So one thing that I did learn is to respect the monks and the holy women of the mountains and the monasteries, the people who are living in isolation, who are praying and living a holy life, because they're at a level which I could never ever reach. Just like Rembrandt or Monet or a great artist can see colours and express their artistic bent in a way which most people have got no way of accessing, the way they can see colour, the way they can express colour. Just like a musician has an eye for tune, or an opera singer or a singer with their talent are able to access different levels of charismata, of talents. So too, spiritual people are able to access a different level to what other people can access. And that's why I respect these people, and I delegate and I outsource to them, and I follow their lead, because I know that they're able to access and do things that I am incapable of doing. And by understanding what Joe Dispenza talks about in terms of the different brain states, the alpha, the beta, and the theta brainwave, then we can understand how, in order to solve complex problems, or in order to visualize spiritual things, you'd need to be accessing your subconscious mind to be able to get the full spectrum and the full experience, the theosis, one could maybe imply. Anyway, thank you once again for joining me today. It's a really deep it's a really deep topic that we've delved into today. So I hope I haven't scared you. I hope I haven't shocked you. But it's the sort of stuff that I've thought about for many years, and it's a level of spirituality that there are people who are accessing on a regular basis. But something that I thought that I'd be able to just overlay with the sort of things that we're learning from these book summaries, and to be able to build a bridge between what the books are telling us, what our spiritual fathers are telling us, and just to build a bridge so that we can at least understand what's possible, what's capable, even though that we can't access it ourselves, just to know that there are people out there who may have that capability, may have that gift. Anyway, let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and most importantly, just take some lessons and learn, or at least attempt or try to manage our brain states, our brainwave states, so that we can solve simple problems and also know that we have our subconscious that we can tap into to help us solve those really complex issues that we have in our lives, and to not be fooled to think that we can multitask and we can solve complex things by being rational and linear and sequential in our thinking. We need to access the supercomputer known as our subconscious. So thank you very much, and we'll come to you again tomorrow from a different location with a different message. Thank you very much for joining me on this tough, difficult, complex sort of talk today, but I'm glad I pushed it out and at least got it on record, so we can hopefully learn, grow and develop. And if it helps anybody, that's great. If it doesn't, then it makes no difference. Yassas, take care. I love you all, and bye for now from Jim's 5am Club. Bye.